And so because I'm always learning, it means that I'm looking at the shifts that are happening in the world, or, you know, what's happening with a particular company, or why did it do so well outside of property management. And to be fair, I've been exposed to that through the leaders that I've been working with too, right? So that then has shaped this. When you're learning and looking at things from Harvard and different universities and whatever, then all of a sudden you see something, go, hang on a second, we could use that in property management. So while I'm always trying to think about the issues in property management, and where, you know, certainly I'm probably in my most hands-on role of, hey, we're fixing this issue, that sort of thing right now, being a department head. But it's from that eternal learning type thing. So I'll see something that, you know, when NPS was sort of coming around the world, like, I mean, we adopted it really late in sort of 2006, 2007, you know, it was really an 80s thing. But when I was seeing that, I'm like, hang on a second, that could change everything. So it's that sort of stuff that happens for me fairly organically.
Welcome to the Property Management Podcast. Thank you so much for having me in your ears. Today we're going to talk about some trends, technology and transformative ideas shaping the future of the industry. And in recent years, the property management industry has seen incredible advancements in technology, from electronic signature platforms, video inspection tools, and AI-powered communication tools, as well as data-driven insights that empower property managers to have way less stress and deliver better outcomes for our clients. But here's the thing. Innovation isn't just about adopting a new tech tool. It's about embracing a mindset of continual improvement, staying ahead of change, and refusing to stick your head in the sand when the industry shifts. Businesses that innovate are thriving, while those that resist risk falling behind. And my guest today is someone who embodies the spirit of innovation and excellence in property management in the trillions. Her name is Jodie Stainton, and she is the Director of Property Management at Harcourts Solutions, an award-winning privately owned company and a growing portfolio of over 2,000 properties. She has an impressive career spanning 22 years, and Jodie leads her team with a clear mission to make Harcourts Solutions the workplace of choice for Australia's best property management professionals. She's passionate about creating an environment where happy, supported and highly trained property managers can deliver exceptional service to owners, tenants and their communities. Jodie's career is nothing short of remarkable, from pioneering a national property management franchise to holding national leadership roles within Harcourts and Ray White, and she's been at the forefront of change and innovation in the industry for a very long time. Twice recognised as one of the top 50 real estate influencers by Elite Agent, Jodie is super passionate and is an advocate for customer service excellence, technology integration and empowering women in business. Today we're going to dive into the future of property management, the challenges and opportunities ahead, or how innovation and technology can help shape the industry. Jodie will also share her insights in staying ahead in a rapidly changing market, the power of great leadership, and why investing in relationships and continual learning is the key to success. She also graciously shares the things shaping and powering her own business, and it's things that we can all implement inside our own businesses as well. So grab a drink, settle in, and get ready for an inspiring conversation about what's next for property management. Jodie, welcome to the Property Management Podcast. I've been trying to get you on here for a very long time, so I am so grateful that you are joining me today. Can you just, before we dive in, and I'm sure most people know you in the industry, but just share a little bit about your property management real estate journey and where you are at right now?
Thanks, Carl. Look, I'm so grateful to be here too, by the way. I think I've had this really blessed run in property management, and people will hear me say this all the time, but I'm currently the Director of Property Management at Harcourts Solutions. I'm one of the business owners there, and probably I feel incredibly grateful. That's sort of my life now. I have a great team. I work with two incredible men that are my business partners that I just absolutely adore. So I do feel like I'm probably really lucky. And, you know, people always ask me, well, how'd you get there and what did you do? And I think probably the biggest thing for me is I've had these great leaders along the way, and I've been so lucky to work with these incredible leaders. And I think when you've worked with so many people that help you, that challenge you, help you grow, you can't help but get better. And so, yeah, I've been really lucky. But yeah, I'm Harcourts Solutions now, and that's my home.
Amazing. Let's go back a few little steps now, because I want to talk about and dive into your journey around innovation, and maybe just talk about your process for that, because I think innovation actually is a bit of a process. And for me, it's, I always look at what are the problems in my business or with problems in the industry and what are the solutions to that, and I look to innovate around that. But for you, is it just a natural thing that comes naturally to you, or do you have a little bit of a similar process to mine?
Probably is a bit of a natural thing. I think I do have this, I'm always looking for better, quicker, faster ways to do something. And apparently I was like this as a small child, right? I just could see someone go, hang on, why do we do it like that? So I've always been naturally that way, but I wouldn't say it's so much of a process, but it's an internal learner. I'm a real learner. I'm into numerology. I've got sevens all through my numbers, and sevens are eternal learners, right? And so because I'm always learning, it means that I'm looking at the shifts that are happening in the world, or what's happening with a particular company, or why did it do so well outside of property management. And to be fair, I've been exposed to that through the leaders that I've been working with too, right? So that then has shaped this. When you're learning and looking at things from Harvard and different universities and whatever, then all of a sudden you see something, go, hang on a second, we could use that in property management. So while I'm always trying to think about the issues in property management, and where, certainly I'm probably in my most hands-on role of, hey, we're fixing this issue, that sort of thing right now, being a department head. But it's from that eternal learning type thing. So I'll see something that, when NPS was sort of coming around the world, we adopted it really late in sort of 2006, 2007, it was really an 80s thing. But when I was seeing that, I'm like, hang on a second, that could change everything. So it's that sort of stuff that happens for me fairly organically.
And do you drive people in your world crazy with your innovation, constantly wanting to change and stuff? Yeah, because I know I do.
I drive people crazy. And Brendan, actually, my business partner, said to me the other day, Jodie, you have to do these two things before you're allowed to even start thinking about the next thing. And, we're all laughing. And so it is something that I can't actually help, and it does drive everyone crazy. It drives my husband crazy, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you happy to maybe share a little bit around some of the innovation? I know we spoke at RE Bar Camp recently, and I was listening to, some of the innovation that you've brought into your team, and I would love if you could share a few things that you've brought in that's really been a game changer, I guess, for how your team dynamics are running, because we all know property management teams, a lot of people struggle, and yours seems to be just, from the outside looking in, it seems to be, running like a really well-oiled machine.
Look, it's not. Do you know what I mean? There's improvements every day, and there's things that we get wrong. And, we're a very normal team. And I say this, I was talking to one of my best friends recently who has a team as well. And she was like, she came to our team meeting and, she saw us doing what we're doing. And she said, oh, you have the same problems. And I said, well, of course we have the same problems, so it's not perfect. I don't think that. I don't think that they're necessarily innovations, because this is stuff that's been around for a really long time. But I do think we have taken things from tech, taken things from frameworks from Harvard, et cetera, and put that into our team. So, for example, I do business planning with all of my team. So they have a business unit plan. There's a lot of OKR type work in that. So if you've never seen OKRs, they're a fantastic tool for its objective and key results. And it's actually a framework from Google as to how they implement KPIs. So that's something that we've implemented in our team. Also look at sort of a balanced scorecard. So kind of mix the two to actually make these business unit plans. So, we do huddles. We start out there every day with huddles, and huddle was taken from a tech type of thing where tech companies get their teams together every day, quickly organise their work, and they're working from an agile sort of framework. So that's something that we do every day. We focus on our vacancies. So the senior team get together, they focus on the vacancies, and every single day we go through the vacancies, what's happened the day before, whether we got the price improvement, whether we got, the application through. So it's something that we look after really, which has helped us to get to that number one spot on REA, which has really helped our growth. And then probably some of the other things, I know these aren't, I wouldn't say this is innovation, but I would say to every single person out there listening that you should do this. We hold our team meetings on a Friday because everyone's happy, right? So, and so it's one of those things where I feel like we get more cut through with our team because everyone's relaxed and they're happy and we make it fun and that kind of thing. So we've implemented things like we really taught our property managers how to sign up business and get new business. And that was something that has been fantastic for us. Our property managers now bring on somewhere between 20 and 25 managements a month, which is great. And that's not usual in a team. And I think, and we did implement NPS and customer satisfaction scoring. So that's sort of the last kind of year to a year and a half implementing all of that. And that's made quite a big difference in our business. So hopefully we'll see the fruits of that this year.
For anyone that doesn't know about NPS, do you want to just break that down a little bit and how you use that inside your business?
Yeah, so the two things that are really important to me is that we're growing and that we've got excellent client satisfaction and my team are happy. It's actually three things. That's my three key pillars. So what I said, we worked out a bonus scheme that was just to NPS and to growth. So our senior leaders, if they lose one, they need to replace it, but we help them with that. And then the other gate is the NPS score. So NPS is Net Promoter Score. It's a customer satisfaction scoring system. We send out surveys to our clients and basically they'll rate you anything from a 1 to 10 as to whether they're likely to refer or recommend. So you probably have all heard that call from Telstra, how likely to recommend or refer. So they score you 1 to 10. Let's say we sent out 100 surveys. If 40 came back positive, so 9 to 10s, and 20 came back negative, then you would say 40 minus 20 equals 20. I just totally balls that up, just so we're clear. Anyway, because I forgot to take the mares out and whatever, but anyway, you kind of get the picture. So you end up with a satisfaction score, and the satisfaction score is 50 is considered excellent across the world. We're against all companies, whether it's Telstra or Qantas or Apple or Coke or whatever you can think of. It's a worldwide benchmark. So we're sitting at 55.5, which I'm really proud of our team for.
That's amazing. And is it something like, obviously when you are getting scored like that, it's a mindset for the property managers as well. Like they know that they're going to have to deliver that good service because they are going to be, it should be a given that people want to give good service, but it's not always a given. We know that very well. But yeah, do you think that makes them more accountable?
Yeah, I think probably I think it does, but I actually think most property managers come to work to give good service. I think so many things happen in a day that beats you down to get to the point where you're like, oh God, I just can't take another call, right? So what it does do is, I'm not sure it's about more accountability, but what it does do is lift morale because there's these 10s coming through and 9s and 10s coming through all the time. And often you don't get thanked. So all of a sudden you're seeing the fruit of your labour. And I think from that point of view, it actually really helps to feel valued in your role. So that was sort of one of the strong reasons as to why we did it. Obviously, it also lets me see trends. I see every single comment that comes in every day. So I get all of it and I respond to it. Jess responds to it as well, but often I'll respond to it too. And what it does is it does allow me to see trends. So for example, this year, a trend for us from sort of feedback from last year is we haven't been handling maintenance the best way that we possibly could. So we're really all about maintenance. I think we've nailed leasing, we've nailed lease renewals, we've nailed feedback. We're doing really well on those things, but maintenance has been a really big issue for us, as I know it's for most people actually, because trades are really difficult at the moment, all that sort of stuff. So, but we're really working on, okay, well, how could we make it absolutely great? And what systems aren't we using? We're going through that process at the moment.
Yeah, I love that. You're very intentional, and data doesn't lie either. Like, you can think what you need to improve or fix in your business, but surveys and surveying your clients, that is all, the stuff that comes back from there is all real, and the stuff that you really do need to fix in your business. With the surveys, do you mind if I ask, so every new client that comes on gets surveyed, and then every client that you've got throughout the year gets surveyed?
Yeah,
and tenants as well. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so we moved to tenants at the end of last year. So we took 1 year to really go through the clients. But yes, new business. We also survey on lease renewal. So we have every 6 months plus on lease renewals. So they're usually receiving 2 to 3 surveys a year. And then tenants are on moving into I think we're 15 days after moving into the property. And that allows us to get that, how was the onboarding experience for you? And so that's what we're really focused on then. And then 6 months from there, they get another survey. So we have a warts and all process. A lot of people, when they do things like NPS, I shouldn't say this, but they often are looking at it for a promotional point of view. We're really good at customers, so they'll only survey on maybe when the property is leased or the property is sold. And I think that we're warts and all. So whether there's been a bond issue, whether there's been, something that's happened with the owner and they're leaving, we still survey. You're right when you said before that it's a really emotional thing for a property manager to go through. They had to really go through the process with me. And if you're thinking about doing this, one thing I would say is I got them to rate me first. Right. So, put yourself in those shoes, go through all of the feels on that. I was freaking out and thinking, oh my God, what are my team going to say and all that sort of stuff. I told them to be as brutal as what their clients would be. And, and they were, some of it was like, oh, okay. But it helped me think through what we need to do better as as a leadership team as well. And that's something now that we're doing through the whole company. But it is something now we would never go back, and my team wouldn't go back either. They were so nervous at first, but now they're like, no, I get all this thanks, and it lifts morale, and and we actually don't have a lot of negative, and that's a wonderful thing.
That's amazing. That is so good. And you're right. You've got to walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk. So. Yeah. Very important. Can we maybe talk about some of the stuff that you do with your team? Because I know that is one of the biggest struggle many businesses have is, team turnover, getting the right balance of, reward for effort and incentives and that sort of thing. And it's definitely something that I have never been able to master. So I'm really curious to find out how that, what you put in place to work with your team to make that so successful.
Yeah, so I think first of all, I genuinely care about my team, right? And I'm sure everyone does. I really do. And it's something that every single day, I think that Jess and my role is just to make their lives easier. That's it. Like if we do that, then they're usually a lot happier. So we bring the fun, we bring the energy. We are always looking for ways to, and we might spot someone and go, hey, that person's just, that online, there may not be the right kind of feel or whatever. We have full flexibility. They can work from home, they can work in the office. Most of our team choose to come to the office every day. We sort of need space. But no, so everyone dials in from everywhere, if they're out of routine or whatever. So I think bringing the team together from the first moment was probably the most important thing, and that was through the huddles. I think that's how we achieved that. I think you asked about it. Oh, sorry, there was one thing you said and I've now forgotten it. I'm also menopausal.
That's all right. I was just saying, yeah, what have you incentives and stuff like that you've brought in? Yes.
So yeah, sorry, that's where I was going.
Are you feeling overwhelmed and thinking about selling your rent roll? Don't worry, you're not alone, and HDNU is here to help. Whether you're ready to sell now or you just want to plan for the future, the friendly and approachable team at HDNU makes the process simple and stress-free. Hello, yes please. With over 30 years of expertise, they're not just about crunching the numbers. They genuinely care about helping you maximize your agency's value and get the best outcome for you. Their sales readiness bundle is like having a trusted advisor by your side. They'll work closely with you to assess your agency's key factors, create an easy to understand heat map of your strengths and opportunities, and then sit down with you for a 90-minute workshop to guide you on what to do next. They'll look at everything from rent roll earnings and rent arrears to compliance and team performance and explain it all in plain English. If you're planning to sell soon, HDNU can even handle the whole process for you, from finding qualified buyers to negotiating the deal. Their friendly, professional team takes the stress out of selling so you can feel confident every step of the way. And to get started, simply book in a meeting with the team today. Their link is in the show notes. They're here to help you move forward with confidence. If you're ready to be a super organised, focused and productive property manager, buckle up. because Colmio is about to revolutionise the way that you work. Colmio is the driving force behind property management excellence in residential real estate. Now picture this, a comprehensive end-to-end system designed to be the beating heart of your property management tasks, manage your properties, owners and tenants, and handle payments, inspections, and even marketing listings without leaving the platform. Colmio is designed to be an all-in-one solution to all your property management needs. And here's the game changer. Colmio isn't just software. It's been awarded the most innovative prop tech scale up in 2023. Yes, you heard it right. Colmio has been recognised for their groundbreaking approach to property management software. How good is that? So property managers, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, dive into the future of property management with Colmio. You can book in a demo with the team today and go in their weekly draw for a Prezi gift card worth $100. All you need to do is to head to the link colmio.com/thatpropertymum, and Colmio is Kolmeo.
So with KPIs, I think a lot of people, have so many KPIs that they almost become, what are they for? And so we don't do that. We have big structures that capture things, but we don't actually measure. I've never looked at the arrears. Now, people will be horrified about that, but I don't worry about arrears. It's not really a big deal. These days, hardly anyone is in arrears, right? So it's not a KPI for me. It's a standard of business, but it's not a KPI. So our two KPIs are that customer satisfaction score and the growth. And because I'm so clear on that, everyone knows what I expect on that. Then the structures pick up things. So the huddles pick up the vacancies and make that great. The fact that we do lease renewals on the first day of the month, all the lease renewals get sent, right? So there's structures that pick up the things that I need, but I'm not measuring. There's not a 30-point system where they get points for different things and that sort of stuff. There's two very clear KPIs and they get bonuses from that. And I think when it's clear and it's based on the things that truly matter, and that's reflected because it does matter to you, then there's no mixed messages. And I think that really helps.
And any tips on your recruitment process, or maybe you haven't had to recruit in a while? Anything? Do you put people through a process when you're recruiting?
We do. So we have a head of HR. We're lucky in that way. And so she will usually do the first interview. I'm often calling people in the background. So I use Seek and use the people that have updated their resume in the last 3 months to look at they're likely to move in the next month. So I'm always looking at that, and she is too. So from that, I might give a call and just get people prepared because we're always growing. So I do need people coming through the system. We had 2 of our property managers go into BDM recently. So I've had to hire 2 people recently. So that process worked really well going through Seek. I also have a recruiter that I really work with, a particular one that I've trusted for a really long time. And so if he says that someone's great, I normally jump on it. But our head of HR gets involved. She does the first interview. I'll do the next interview with Jess. And then if it's looking like it's right, we do this pretty quickly, then we'll actually get them to meet the team that they'll be working with. Or if they're a single property manager, then we'll take them through the team and just get everyone to meet them sort of thing. And then it's a, yes, you're joining. So that's pretty much what we do. But we do have a full onboarding process. So when they start, there's a beautiful gift for them. It's a full process that we go through. And we do have a property management book. And this is actually through the old LPMA stuff that I used to be involved in working with Ben White. There's every competency in that book. So every property management competency, believe it or not. So we get them to rate themselves on those competencies and we build their individual learning plan from that. And that will happen usually within the first couple of weeks. So that's what we do.
Amazing. Now, what about the future of property management? We've seen a lot of shifts since COVID in the industry. I think a lot of the struggles and the challenges in the industry were really highlighted through COVID and then post-COVID, and seemed to be talked about a lot more as everyone went onto online spaces. And I think we all kind of battled away in silence to a degree pre-COVID. How do you think that the next lot of changes are going to look, and what without having that crystal ball, or what is your numerology telling you, astrology telling you, without having that, but what do you think is the future of property management?
Look, I'm really looking at AI and even robotics at the moment. And, you know, I was reading something the other night. I follow Sam McLean, I get all of her stuff, and that lets me go down rabbit holes and I start seeing everything else. So, looking at, they're saying that our children, this is the last generation before robotics will be an everyday part of life. And they're thinking something like 8 billion robots will actually be deployed in the next sort of 5 to 10 years. Like everyone will have one. And when you think about that, we can't possibly stay in the same state that we are. And I can't even understand how this is going to impact us, because basically I saw a quote the other day that said everything that moves will be automated, every single thing that moves. And you start looking around and you start thinking about that landscape. All of a sudden, driving to work is not going to be an issue because we'll be driven. So who knows where we could live and what that will do to change the landscape of everything. The fact that electric cars will be on the road, and so all of a sudden main roads may not be a thing because the road noise won't be as big. All of these things, I'm thinking about all of this stuff all the time going, what could this possibly look like? When the homes know that the routine I don't think we'll be doing routine inspections in the future. I don't think arrears and payments will be a thing. I think lease renewals will be I think so much will be automated. And to be honest, probably for the first time, I don't feel like I know whether we will have an industry or not. I believe we will have an industry, because from the point of view, I don't know what it will look like, but even if it was a press of a button, we're outsourcing more and more of our lives. So, you know, the fact is we can easily cook our own meals, but we press a button and get Uber delivered at a more expensive price. Does that make sense? So we're outsourcing more and more, no matter how expensive it is or whatever. And the fact is, when you consider that, I was reading something else the other day where they said houses will be printed by these robots. There will not be any issues around getting a home, right? And so homes will become the land will be incredibly expensive, but homes will become almost like a commodity, like how we throw up furniture now. So everything will get so much less expensive. So I just can't even imagine how this is going to look. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God. And it is a rabbit hole. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's actually terrifying, but you do have to confront it, though. You do have to confront, and especially in business. You know, and I think, yeah, definitely AI is already playing a massive role in terms of, you know, content creation and social media and marketing and even business growth. You know, I was just, before I jumped on this podcast episode with you, I was doing some videos around lead generation, and I had a whole heap of 10 scripts spat out in about, and then that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know, and then there's even people, you know, and if you do follow Sam as well, you know, you can have your own video bot that looks exactly identical to you actually doing your video. So, and, you know, and I think, you know, innovation and the future is, you know, it's always good to look at, but it's also, that really terrifying. And I'm like you, I can't actually put my finger on what it's going to look like. I feel like there's going to be capacity for people to manage really large portfolios across the country, maybe even internationally. I think there's, you know, with more and more stuff outsourced and automation, I think there's going to be room for, you know, you don't have to necessarily be in locations where you're running portfolios anymore.
Exactly. I think all of that's possible as well. And the thing, for anyone that's listening to this and going, oh my God, you know, the thing that brings me back down to earth is right now, right here, most people can't even remember their passwords. So, you know, we've got it's this really wide gap of what this future is looming, but this is where we are right now. And I focus on today, right? And what makes today successful. And that's something we do actually do that in a huddle every day. What will make today successful? Top 3 things that you need to do to get today to be successful. And I think, so I'm trying not to truly focus too much on that, because it can be so overwhelming, and especially when you're an innovative kind of, you know, and love all of that sort of stuff. And I bring it back to today and go, let's focus on today. Because I also think about we can never put our lens on what the future will look like at the time when we're going through it, unless we're genuinely a part of that. I'm Elon Musk and I'm actually making robots right now, right? Like I can't put my lens on it. He's actually shaping it. I just take bits of it and implement it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always think about back in the day when women were thinking about going to work, and they were like, they would have thought that the factories of the future would have actually had the babies on a factory line being, not daycare and things like that. So they could never have thought about what it looked like today where we could work and do all the things that we do. So I always think about that and go, we can't see it, but we will adapt and we'll make it work and it'll be okay. And that's kind of how I go with it and just go, let's just keep looking at it and seeing what we're seeing as fast as we can see it.
Absolutely. And I think, you can't stick your head in the sand. You have to actually have a peek at it. And certainly like AI is not going away. So I, talk to lots of business owners and property managers and BDMs on a weekly basis. And I'm saying, you have to look at this. It's, it is going to be the future. It is here right now, like the internet. And I share often a story. I was working in Hong Kong back in the 1990s. And yes, I'm that old. And I was working for an accounting firm and doing their marketing. And I remember having to go into a meeting with the directors of that company, the CEO, and pitch to them why we needed the World Wide Web. So yeah, which and they like I had to like have they were not interested in it at all. They were like, "What is this? This is rubbish. It won't be around." And luckily, they I obviously did a good job selling it to them. But yeah, that was only in the 90s. So not that long ago.
We're closer to 2050, right, than the 90s. And I read something the other day, 2045 is when they actually think we'll merge with robots, like genuinely. And so you think about 20 years, and 20 years ago, we were just Facebook 2004 kind of was just really becoming a thing and how much social media has changed our lives. And in 20 years, we could be apparently merging ourselves with robots and genuinely living forever. And, that's the godfather of AI that's saying that and robots. Yeah. And you sort of go, you know what I mean? It's just so unlimited. And I think it's one of those things where focus on today, be present with your family, do the things you need to do to make it better. But yeah, don't put your head in the sand either. It's definitely happening. It's coming, and it's coming at a pretty rapid pace. I think it's exciting, but yeah, I get scared, but I go, no, those people back in the 50s could never have thought about how we would be able to work and still have a family. So
no. Exactly. And I think, let's come back to the present now. And I would love it if you could share with our audience some personal development, tool, book, resource, podcast, something that you think will help them.
Yeah, so we do a book club with our team, and a couple of ones that has worked with our team that I think has been good for them, which I think would be good for people that might be listening. Growth mindset. I know we love it, Carl. Like I've heard you talk about it. I talk about it. It's something that I bring back to the team all the time. So the growth mindset, I think if you haven't read it, especially if you're a woman out there and you're people pleasing and you're trying to be perfect all the time and those sorts of things, I think this can really shift you. And then the other one we did recently, which really helped our team that have sort of never really had to give feedback to their own team before, was Feedback That Works. It's like a 25-page book or something, but it was really intentional. It was great. So that really helped our team. For me, I follow quite a bit in terms of AI and tech. I love tech things around the world. I have a subscription to Harvard. I'm always looking at what's coming out there. I think they're always looking at innovation, and they put it all in case studies for us to learn directly as to what's happening. Sometimes it can be a little bit too far ago, but I still find that I find something. But they're also at the front of things too. So, you can get a lot out of that. I'm lucky to work within Harcourts, and I say that we get exposed to a lot, right? We have a lot of great speakers. Mark Dobson is a great someone that I'm listening to podcasts on the moment about high performance. He works with high performance swimmers, and the way that he actually helps their mindsets and moves is just incredible. So yeah, that would be a few to help.
Things to get started. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Jodie, if somebody wanted to reach out and have a chat to you or connect with you further, what is the best place for them to find you?
You can actually book directly into my calendar. So if you go onto the website, search Jodie Stainton, I should come up at Harcourts. There's a calendar booking link, and you can just book in and talk to me when you want to talk to me. It's completely fine. And that's a little innovation that we did for our property managers as well. They've actually got all calendars so their clients can book in at any time for them. That's something that has really helped our clients and also our property managers manage work. I would say to you to try and get that sorted if you can.
That's amazing.
And through Microsoft, native through Microsoft.
Okay, through Microsoft. Because that you get so many calls, or not so many but you get a lot of calls often with the client saying, I can't get hold of my property manager.
Yes.
And then the property manager says, I've called you several times back. But yeah, if they've got access to book in a call, there's no excuses whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's a great customer service initiative too. So that's amazing. You've just shared two really amazing innovations right there at the end. So you are a wealth of knowledge and, superstar, business owner, property manager, mum, all the things.
Very normal woman. Going through all the normal challenges, I promise.
Exactly. And happy to share them with everybody too. So thanks very much, Jodie.
Thanks for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.